They called it a vaccine, but inside Pentagon walls, the whispers are getting louder. It was an act of war. Today, we bring you explosive intel from high-ranking military insiders. Preparations are underway for the arrest and military tribunal of Anthony Fauci, not as a public health official, not even as a criminal, but as a foreign adversary. Fauci and Bill Gates are now under active investigation for what insiders describe as acts of war crimes, not just against humanity, but directly against the US military. Why? Because according to the military, more American service members have been maimed or killed by the COVID vaccine rollout than in all post-World War II conflicts combined. And now there's a storm brewing inside the ranks. Soldiers, commanders and insiders who say they were betrayed, forced to choose between serving their country and being injected with a gene-altering experiment pushed by unelected globalists. This isn't just about Fauci and Gates, this is about treason and what happens when the military fights back. Before we dive in, join the TPV free speech community over on Soju. Soju is a digital space where ideas and information can take place without any annoying algorithms or restrictive rules getting in the way of free expression. From covert task force to military networks, a growing movement within the military is demanding justice. Not just accountability, but the ultimate punishment. They see Fauci and Gates not as public servants, but as infiltrators. Agents of a hostile agenda that weaponize medicine to weaken the nation from within. And for those behind this movement, there's only one way to deal with enemies of the state in wartime: military tribunal, conviction, and execution. The movement is gaining steam, and the evidence is hiding in plain sight. You just have to know where to look. Take a close look at the back of a US Army tank during a recent official military presentation. There it was, bold as daylight. A message that sent shockwaves through those paying attention. A message that wasn't censored, blurred or walked back, but proudly broadcast across official US Army social media channels for the world to see. In an institution where every word, every image, every frame is vetted, this didn't slip through the cracks. These things don't happen by accident. This wasn't a mistake. This was an acknowledgement of the war against the globalists, an endorsement of the moves being made to serve them with justice and hold them to account for their crimes. No institution in America has suffered more than the military. Under the threat of dishonorable discharge, stripped benefits, and the destruction of their careers and lives, millions of service members were force jabbed with the Fauci-Gates injection, forced to choose between obedience and everything they'd spent their lives building. They submitted unwillingly, and the consequences have been nothing short of diabolical. Medical billing code data revealed that rates of cancer, heart attacks, miscarriage, myocarditis, Bell's palsy, infertility, and many more serious health conditions skyrocketed across the military when mRNA vaccines were made mandatory.
I have a friend who was in remission from cancer and had been doing great, and her doctor insisted that she got the shot, and like 3 weeks later, the cancer was back full-blown. She went to stage 4.
How many? Well, because it affects the immune system.
Exactly.
How many oncologists are noticing the rise of cancers and rare cancers after the COVID shot?
It's everywhere. And oncologists are screaming at the top of their lungs. And they're seeing a correlation, not with COVID, the virus, but when the vaccine rolled out, an uptick in cancers over the military complex. I went through what's called the Department of Defense epidemiological system. And that particular system showed a 40% uptick in cancers starting in 2021.
This wasn't public health. It was a globalist operation designed to cripple America's military from within. A calculated assault on readiness, morale and force strength. An infiltration of the most powerful fighting force in human history. As one US veteran put it, they didn't just target our bodies, they targeted our ability to fight back.
Follow orders, and that's what I did. I followed orders, and I didn't question them. And now the military is being targeted and told, line up and get that shot, it's an order. And it's wrong. It violates the Nuremberg Code because they're not being informed how this can harm them. And I won't go into all those stories I've heard about soldiers being harmed, but how does that impact us? We have the greatest warriors in the world, and we're impacting readiness because these people will not be able to fight if they have brain tumors, myocarditis, lethargia, all kinds of other problems because they're not being told, and they believe, hey, it's an order, I have to follow it.
He wasn't exaggerating. Those who dared to resist the jab faced swift and brutal retaliation, not from foreign enemies, but from within. Careers destroyed, benefits revoked, lives upended. And make no mistake, the term forced jabbed isn't hyperbole. It's exactly what happened.
Are you choosing to be non-compliant? Are you choosing to be non-compliant?
Get on the floor! Get on the floor! Get on the floor! Let's go! Get on the floor! Get on the floor! Get on the fucking floor! Stop resisting!
Where's the handcuff? I need a handcuff right now.
Get his arm. I got it. Here, get the handcuff to the legs.
I need a handcuff. I'm going for his left arm. All right. Oh.
Stop resisting!
Medic! Medic! The extraction team can break away so that we can look out and ask questions.
He's bleeding from his face.
The collapse of leadership under the globalist Biden regime was nothing short of shocking. While criminals like Fauci and Gates were given free rein to experiment on the population, real patriots were silenced, punished, or cast aside. But those days are coming to an end. Why? Because people like you refused to stay quiet. You shared the truth, asked the hard questions, and lit the fire that's now reached the highest levels of power.
We're also welcoming back former service members who were wrongly forced to leave the military. More than 8,700 service members were involuntarily separated for not taking an experimental COVID-19 vaccine. Others were more informally pushed out or decided to get out. We are welcoming actively back those warriors of conscience. We've sent letters out. We're seeking them out. We want them back. They never should have been forced to come back quickly. Personnel and Readiness Department is working in real time to make that process more and more efficient, more and more direct every single day.
Now, Fauci and Gates are facing a long overdue reckoning for their role in what many are calling a crime against the US military. This is why the movement within the ranks has reached a critical mass. Loud, organised, and impossible to ignore. Not since the fallout of Vietnam has there been this level of unrest and determination within the armed forces. According to a highly placed US service member, justice is no longer a question of if, but when. And Fauci? He's cornered himself into a position he can't escape. The evidence is clear. There's no more hiding behind lab coats or talking points. The hammer is coming down. We've got the details after this important word from our sponsor. The tide is turning, the reckoning has begun, and Anthony Fauci is firmly in the frame and facing a military tribunal for his crimes. While the liberal media continues to canonize Fauci as some kind of untouchable saint, the truth is unraveling fast. He's not a hero, he's a criminal on the run. We've been shouting this from the rooftops for years, exposing what they tried to bury. And now, finally, the cracks are showing even in the mainstream.
Fox News alert, Kash Patel may have just uncovered the holy grail of cover-ups.
They can't hide the truth forever. Jesse Waters was talking about FBI Director Kash Patel's revelation on the Joe Rogan podcast that the FBI has seized Fauci's communication devices from the COVID era.
I mean, we just had a great breakthrough this week on Fauci. So Senator Rand Paul, Senator Kennedy, and I hate naming names because I always forget people, are doing a great job with us on COVID origins. And we've got multiple investigations open on that. But they had always been looking for Fauci's original phone, or not original, but phones and devices he used while he was Fauci back in Trump 1 during COVID. And nobody had found it till 2 days ago.
Really?
Yeah. Now, look, your audience and everybody listening to it shouldn't jump to the conclusion everything's in there. We'll look at it. We'll pull it. We'll rip it, as we say. And maybe it's deleted. Maybe it's not. But at least we found it. And at least now we can tell the American people we've been looking, because it is of public importance to figure out, did that guy lie? Did he intentionally mislead the world and cause countless deaths? We owe those answers to the American people. And the best evidence ever is always the people's evidence who created it. And so now we're going to go and exploit those hard drives. But I think a victory for the American people that we broke with Congress is that we did find it. We're not done. We're still looking. And we're on the case.
Fauci is under investigation from multiple agencies. The FBI is just one piece of the puzzle. But insiders believe it won't be the feds who make the first move on his freedom. No, it will be the military. As Robert F. Kennedy Jr. has exposed, Fauci was working hand in glove with DARPA and Pentagon officials in the secretive off-the-books development of mRNA technology years before COVID ever emerged. The so-called vaccine wasn't a response, it was a premeditated weapon. The records are there, the paper trail exists, and within the military, they've seen enough. At this point, Fauci isn't just under investigation, he's a dead man walking. And now we bring you the voice of somebody inside the machine, a US service member with first-hand knowledge of what's happening behind the scenes and what's coming next.
You didn't hear this from me, but I'm telling you, something's brewing, something big. Inside the walls, people are talking. Commanders, officers, people way above my clearance level. Fauci and Gates, their names are poisoned in every briefing room. And yeah, it's true. Military arrests are coming, imminent, and they all know it. Those two asswipes are responsible for force vaccinating me. Those two asswipes are responsible for wiping years off my life expectancy. You think I'm the only one? Try millions. And we're already seeing the results. Troops dying of heart attacks and strokes. Troops with myocarditis, autoimmune collapse, families ruined, brothers dead. And all we got was a needle and a discharge threat, like we were nothing. I'm telling you, morale is high, but not in the usual way. There's this climate of vengeance in the air. It's thick. Everyone's ready. You say Fauci in a mess hall, you'll hear the chairs scrape back. You say Gates, someone's gonna spit. These guys are hated more than any enemy I've seen in my years. Taliban, ISIS, they don't come close. Because at least those guys didn't pretend to be on our side. These bastards stabbed us in the back while smiling on TV. We see the numbers. We know the truth. It's not just the troops. They killed civilians too, mass deaths. Vets coming back home to funerals. Mothers, sons, neighbors, gone. It boils our blood. We took an oath to defend this country, and for years we've been in a war. But the enemy wasn't in a cave. He was in a lab coat. He was on a stage with the Microsoft logo behind him. And that enemy's been taunting us. Every press conference, every smug interview, they thought we couldn't touch them, but that's about to change. When Trump stepped back in on day one, he made it clear. There's a war being waged against the American people, and he's not wrong. We've been preparing, silently, strategically, because this time the battlefield isn't foreign soil. It's here, and it's personal. Just remember I said this. Fauci and Gates are about to get exactly what they deserve, and when it happens, don't act surprised. We've been ready.
The globalists and their big pharma partners had bigger plans. They were counting on using the US military to enforce the next wave of mRNA injections, turning soldiers into enforcers of a global biosecurity agenda. And then came the slip-up. Dr. Peter Hotez, a Gates Foundation vaccinologist, let the cat out of the bag when he openly stated that NATO and US military must play a role in the development of future vaccines. It wasn't a suggestion, it was a warning shot.
What I've said to the Biden administration is the health sector can't solve this on its own. We're going to have to bring in Homeland Security, the Commerce Department, Justice Department to help us understand how to do this. And I've said the same I met with Dr. Tedros last month in Geneva, WHO, the Director General, to say, I don't know that the World Health Organization can solve this on our own. We need the other United Nations agencies, NATO. This is a security problem because it's no longer a theoretical construct or some arcane academic exercise. 200,000 Americans died because of anti-vaccine aggression, anti-science aggression. And so this is now a lethal force.
But instead of becoming their enforcers, the US military has turned against the globalists, refusing to be used as a muscle for corrupt agendas. And the process of serving justice is already underway. Just like any major takedown, think the mafia, the feds are starting at the bottom and working their way up. In April, Terry Adirim, a senior CIA asset and Biden's handpicked defense official, was quietly removed from her post. Her crime? Orchestrating and enforcing the military's COVID-19 vaccine mandate. A mandate prosecutors now allege crossed serious legal lines. She was the first to fall, but she won't be the last. Here at The People's Voice, we're determined to continue exposing the elite, but we need your help. Subscribe to the channel and join the People's Voice Locals community to join our amazing team and gain access to exclusive and uncensored content. I hope to see you there. Today's video is brought to you by IPv6ers. Are you a content creator who wants to publish information online without Big Brother spying and censoring your every move? IPv6 is set to revolutionize the way information is disseminated